Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into a fresh and exciting legendary gems tier list specifically for necromancers. This comprehensive guide will help you identify which gems work best for different builds and playstyles, whether you're a free-to-play adventurer or a high spender. What this tier list covers. We've broken down all the gems into 3 tiers. S tier can be used in any build, versatile and powerful. A tier, perfect for certain builds, excellent in specific setups. B tier, okay to use but there are better gems, decent but not optimal. We'll also highlight if each gem is suited for PvE, PvP, or both, and whether it's compatible with all necromancer builds or just certain ones. Let's get started. 1 star, legendary gems ideal for free-to-play and low spenders. These gems will serve you well into the endgame. S tier can be used in any build. Berserker's Eye, compatibility, all builds PvE and PvP. Effect, increases all damage you deal, but also increases the damage you take. A strong choice for maximizing damage output. Everlasting Torment, compatibility, all builds PvE and PvP. Effect, critical hits inflict agony, dealing damage over time. Perfect for sustained DPS in any scenario. A tier, perfect for certain builds. Freedom and Devotion, compatibility, summon builds. Effect, extends the duration of your summons and increases their damage. Misery Elixir, compatibility, damage over time, DOT, and DOT purge builds. Effect, increases the duration of harmful effects you inflict and amplifies damage to affected enemies. B tier, okay to use, but there are better gems. Blessed Pebble, compatibility, all builds. Effect, prolongs beneficial effects on you and boosts movement speed after gaining a buff. Useful, but situational. Entropic, well. Compatibility, skill-based builds. Effect, increases skill damage and attack speed. Good for ability-heavy playstyles but lacks versatility. Next up, 2-star legendary gems. These gems are excellent for everyone, including free-to-play, low, and mid-spenders. Crafting them from rank 1 to rank 10 at the jeweler is straightforward with Elder Rift fragments. S tier can be used in any build. Pain Clasp, compatibility, all builds, PvE and PvP. Effect, boosts damage to enemies affected by continuous damage effects and increases movement speed. Mother's Lament, compatibility, all builds, PvE and PvP. Effect, dealing damage has a chance to increase your critical hit chance. Reliable and impactful. Mornskull, compatibility, all builds, PvE and PvP. Effect, dealing damage increases your damage for 6 seconds, with a 20-second cooldown. A solid choice for consistent output. Viper's Bite, compatibility, all builds, PvE and PvP. Effect, poisonous damage over time, with a 20-second cooldown. Great for sustained fights. Igneous Scorn, compatibility, all builds, PvE. Effect, critical hits trigger explosions that deal damage to nearby enemies. Also boosts your damage for 2 seconds. Excellent for burst damage in PvE. A tier, perfect for certain builds. Bloody Reach, compatibility, summons and ranged builds. Effect, increased damage based on distance from the enemy, with a slowing effect. Perfect for kiting strategies. Follower's Burden, compatibility, summon builds. Effect, amplifies your damage for each summon and reduces the damage they take. Essential for summon-heavy playstyles. Fervent Fang, compatibility, PvE, PvP, not summons. Effect, repeatedly hitting an enemy increases the damage they take, stacking up to 10 times. Effective for sustained DPS Grim Rhythm. Compatibility, primary attack builds. Effect, boosts attack and movement speed after dealing damage. Great for high-tempo play. B tier, okay to use, but there are better gems. Volatility Shard, compatibility, farming builds. Effect, enemies explode on defeat, dealing area damage and boosting your damage briefly. Best for clearing mobs. The Abiding Curse. Compatibility, PvP. Effect, attacks slow enemies and increase the damage they take. Decent but situational. Cure Sling, compatibility, PvP. Effect, Attacks can blind nearby enemies and increase damage to blinded foes. Useful for crowd control, but limited in versatility. Now we have the 5-star legendary gems. These gems are for long-term players and those willing to invest in the game. However, 2 gems on this list are highly recommended for everyone, even free-to-play and low spenders. While they may take time to acquire and level up, they are worth the effort in the long run. S tier can be used in any build. Roiling Consequence. Compatibility. All builds, PvE and PvP. Effect. Dealing damage increases your critical hit chance for 6 seconds. Critical hits cause fiery explosions that burn nearby enemies, and your critical hit chance is further increased against burning enemies. Blood-Soaked Jade. Compatibility. All builds, PvE and PvP. Effect. Increases all damage you deal while at full life, decreasing as life reduces. Also boosts movement speed. Bottled Hope. Compatibility. All builds, PvE and PvP. Effect. Using a skill to grant a buff increases the damage and movement speed of you and your party. Also reduces skill cooldowns. Wolfheort. Compatibility. All builds, PvE and PvP. Effect. Dealing damage marks enemies, stacking up to 5 times. Consuming the mark deals damage and increases the attack speed of you and nearby allies. A tier. Perfect for certain builds. Echoing Shade. Compatibility. Summon builds only. Effect. Attacks have a chance to summon a clone that gains some of your attributes. Gloom Cask. Compatibility. Primary attack builds. Effect. Primary attacks unleash the aspect of gloom, triggering blades that deal damage. Enemies hit take increased damage from your primary attack. Void Spark. Compatibility. Farming builds. Effect. Dealing damage conjures a Void Spark that unleashes lightning damage to nearby enemies and boosts attack speed. Chip of Stoned Flesh. Compatibility. PvP. Effect. Causing total loss of control inflicts an explosive curse. When the curse expires, enemies explode for damage taken during its duration. Spiteful Blood. Compatibility. PvP. Effect. Taking damage below 50% life triggers. Spiteful Blood. Increasing your damage, granting invulnerability to primary attacks, and providing an absorb shield. Starfire Shard. Compatibility. PvP. Effect. Dealing damage has a chance to rain meteorites on enemies, knocking them back and dealing damage. Meteorites scorch the ground, burning enemies. B tier. Okay to use, but there are better gems. Seeping Bile. Compatibility. All builds. Effect. Attacks have a chance to poison enemies, reducing their movement speed. Decent but outshined by other options. Conclusion. This tier list offers something for everyone, from free-to-play players to high spenders. Whether you're focused on PvE, PvP, or specific Necromancer builds, there's a gem here to suit your needs. Let me know in the comments which gems you found most useful, or if there's a hidden gem we missed. If you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.